Hi, Warriors. How's everyone doing today? How you doing, Steve, Ingmar, Mike, Glenn? Host is around. Brand, how are you, buddy? James, Ryan. No shutdowns in the UK. Fat finger. What do you mean? Hi, us. Ingmar. Okay, guys. All right. So, hi, Parth. So you have cable outperforming Euro today? A little bit of a change, right? We were never able to take out. Watch face on X. Face is a place to become an ace. All right, so we were able to poke above this level. Looks like it was last night, the 38%. EG never made that new high, Ryan.
Nope. Euro's getting a bit of a spanking today. I think it's mainly led by Euro Yen,
Okay.
which is crap in the bed at the moment.
Yeah, we were talking about 147, but I don't have the courage to buy it right here.
Well, I have. Whether that proves to be a smart move or not, I don't know.
All right, so you're trying 47?
Yeah, 47 down to the range bottom 146.80s.
Okay. All right. It's funny. You wait for a number for it to get there, and then to me, it looks just so ugly. But
Yeah,
that never scared me before.
no.
But I'm long the dollar, which has a little stronger pattern, especially after this candle. So, just stay long the dollar. They're almost the same trade.
Yeah,
Just looking at the charts, though, it looks like there's more relative strength here in the Dixie. So why don't we start with what might drive the Dixie higher is if Euro finally fails, maybe 117 a big level, or do we have to take out 1650?
117's big enough.
Yeah,
I think in the current context, if we're moving under that, then there's a chance we head all the way back down to at least that low that we got last week down
this
near
one.
116.50. Yeah, and that
Okay.
that would what happens there would be important. If we break that low, even by a few pips, that would then set up a series of lower highs and lower lows.
Okay.
Alternatively, if we hold it there, that could be a decent bottom.
Okay. So cable now, I think you can wait. We got past 38 finally. Maybe we're going to try. Remember earlier in the week, I talked about the possibility that, this could be a left shoulder and we could be developing a right that would take it up to 5.5 for symmetry. I'm not sure if the euro rolls over that's going to be able to do it, but it now looks because of what happened in euro pound that euro is now your preferred short. Okay, so
Yeah.
I thought we'd get one more high in euro pound before that happened, but the point is not being right about when you think it would happen, but if it's happening, to act on what is happening now,
Yeah.
not on what you were hoping would happen first, right? So you just move on. Um, any view on what's happening? You know, Aussie has been the strength. It's not really today. We've retraced 50%. Um, Long or short, Aussie?
I think you've got to be on at least playing it from the long side still.
Yeah.
It's again, it is looking the strongest contender for a recovery. Compare that. It has made a new high, even by a couple of pips in that latest high. Compare that to the euro, which didn't break the prior high. So we're talking about those higher lows,
Mhm.
or sorry,
Yeah.
low highs. So yeah, it's looking stronger. The dip was pretty shallow yesterday, and it's got every chance of moving back up. So yeah,
Okay.
66, 25, 35 is the level it's got to take out now.
Okay. So metals have both gold and silver have made new highs. I just want to make the case about trade management. So, I was short silver and caught this and took half in, and then I got stopped out BE on the other half. And what's amazing to me is when I look back on the last month, all I had to do was just stay long. But I've actually made money trading the short side of a parabolic move, which is kind of usually doesn't happen. But I'm trying gold again up here. This is a second divergence, and this one's under 70. So, I teach, the four P's. You probe and protect with a stop, then you take partials and protect the remainder. And then you also have to be persistent that if a trade doesn't work out for you, and it wasn't the top, but you could still be taking partials along the way to be persistent. And just because it didn't happen on your first few probes doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And if you're using good money management and you're taking, small profits on half and then tightening up the stop to BE, you don't get hurt trying to top or bottom pick unless it just runs over you overnight, which did happen to me a couple times. So uh, and I think Blake had a number up here too. Just I think he had 3880 something. Didn't you,
That's
buddy?
correct. Yeah, that it's because that was the target of the big go to a daily chart, Dale. And by the way, I love how you are talking the divergence. The big wedge target is there. Now, the wedge that I have measured, by the way, it is at, let me pull up gold. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of thinking
So he,
something asked me a
so even
question.
though I think there could be a correction, that's all it's going to be because you when you have divergences on the intraday stuff, like on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, you have smaller objectives because you look at it on the daily and this momentum is over 80.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't look for anything more than a correction. 3,700 would be 3,705 or so. That's where I think we'd correct to. But do you have the top of the wedge? Yeah, you see that spike high at 3,500. It's right in the middle of your chart. The spike high back in April.
oh yes,
Yeah, yeah. Draw like just a line across the top there.
across the top of this.
Yep, yep.
Okay, all
Yep.
right,
Just across the top and
all right.
connect those other highs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's great.
And
That
then yeah, if you take
Oh, look, the moving average comes in there too, Blake.
oh yeah, what is that?
Thirty-five,
That's your 50 DMA.
you
Oh,
50,
your
yeah.
50 DMA will come in there too. But if you take that low that's just you know back in May, the May low, and then just connect the from there up. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
that
Like,
spike low.
okay, so it's like a ascending triangle.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's all it is an ascending triangle or ascending wedge, bullish wedge, however you want to call it. And then the breakout, the measurement from that low, which is in May. Yeah, so that's
This
not
low,
that. Nope, the one
this
to the right.
low.
Yep, that low. So if you just connect that to those, yeah, the other lows, there you go. And then so the measurement from the May low that you just drew to the top of 3,500 actually measures to right where we're at,
Okay.
basically. So
All
yeah,
right,
that's
and the gold silver ratio, that's why silver took a hit yesterday. It's trying to bottom, but the thing I didn't like about it is where it was bottoming from. So even though it's bottoming just like topping is a process. You go through uh, you know, marginal new lows and maybe we'll diverge this time. But right now it looks like it probably wants to take a new low. And before I forget, I've been talking about Nat Gas, that it's going to be the widower maker because the husbands are going to make so much money this time the wives are going to have the heart attack. So here you go. It's a we're on the verge of a breakout of an ascending triangle as well. And this is more pure because it's off a low, and it measures about 360. And it did that with crude getting whacked, right? So,
Yeah. I mean,
anyway,
is it how strong is the correlation between crude and nat gas these?
I don't think there is one.
Yeah, I was gonna
I think
say
some, yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, this looks like the bottom to me. So,
it does
just
look like the
want,
bottom.
yeah. So, I talked about it here. And then last week I talked about buying the pullback here. I said that any market could give you a short covering rally to just bounce after being hit and hit and hit for a long period of time. But the rubber meets the road if you put in a higher low and start taking out the first wave high, which is what's happening.
So Dale, in about 4 minutes we have ADP data, and since we're not getting the
All right.
jobs data, well, at least for right now, we're not getting jobs data. And even if the government restarted later today or tomorrow, I
Yeah.
don't know if they're going to have their ducks in a row to give us the jobs data. On
Yeah.
Friday, I'm unclear with that.
We won't
But
have it.
what's that?
I don't think we'll get it.
Oh, I don't think we will either. I think we're going to be closed down. I'm just wondering if, they patch together some sort of, spending bill and to let's say later today or tomorrow, and Chuck Schumer and, Trump, President Trump just, they figure it out or whatever, sign some, spending bill, and then we'll get the government will reopen. I just don't know if the jobs report would be ready by then. I don't know if like the BLS, because they've been pushed, they're not working for the next day or two, would they be able to get the data out in time? I'm unsure. So that means that today we're going to be watching this ADP data, or the ADP data that'll be out. This is going to be more important than normal. Just because everybody's going to be focused on this and the ISM today. Remember, we have ISM services data, which there is an employment component inside the ISM. So everybody's going to be focused on that. But the more important data then on Friday, especially if we continue to be shut down, will be the ISM services, which comes out at 10 o'clock Eastern on Friday. So, usually we cover the jobs report. We never miss the jobs report here on the Face Show. The 10 years, Dale, almost 10 years of us
Yes.
covering it,
Of
right?
turning, yeah, F.A.C.E is a place where people become an ace.
There you go. And we've been doing this show for literally almost 10 years. I don't know when the anniversary is, but uh,
April.
is it April?
And
Okay.
say I want flowers this year.
You want flower cheese? I'm gonna have to get you a. I'm gonna have to get you a.
All
I'm gonna have to get you a company signed Bolex, not a Rolex,
right.
Bolex,
Okay, I'll wear
because that's all we can afford. But
it.
but anyway, no. But hey, it's 10 years we've been doing this, and we go through these government shutdowns once every blue moon. So anyway, we're gonna focus on today's ADP. So I'm gonna get ready for that. I've
Okay.
got the dollar index to the
So
left.
ISM is not released by the government, so we'll still be getting reports
Yeah, yeah,
from like manufacturers because they don't, they
correct.
okay, just all
Yeah, and
government reports.
yeah, and we won't get unemployment claims tomorrow. Now, what else? What other, Ryan, am I missing something? What other data are we going to be getting employment
Um,
related?
we're going to get the PMIs obviously today, manufacturing ISM as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Won't
And
get
then
construction
ISM,
spending. We'll get Challenger Gray layoffs tomorrow.
right.
Yeah, apart from
Okay,
that,
Challenger, great.
it's all good.
So I just want to say something. Like you look at the euro's trading pretty weak. I got stopped out of my euro overnight. It's pissed me off. I got stopped out above the 117.60 something. When in Asia, late in Asian trade, government shut down, and it stopped my euro out. So now I'm revenge trading. By the way, the data comes out in 10 seconds. I already shorted the euro again, but if we have some strong ISM or ADP here in a few seconds, then you're probably going to see the euro, sell off a little bit because there's people that got stopped out, myself included. So here comes the data.
Where is it? Where is it?
Where is it?
It's delayed. Oh, what a shit show.
No.
Sort
Yeah,
yourselves
right.
out over there.
Yeah, because they're like, this is going to be really important. Maybe we should be really careful about what data we release. Should we release it on time? You know, they're probably sitting there going, what a disaster. All right, we're waiting. Everybody's waiting, by the way.
Where do you live, Forex trader? Where are your lazy bureaucrats? What country?
Still waiting on the oh, here it is.
Down
Weekday.
32. Down 32.
Wow. All right. Well, I got triggered into a little bit more of my position. Wow. The dollar really got hit on
Taking
that.
it. Yeah.
And yeah, the dollar just got hit. You see the euro spike right back up to the euro just spiked up to 117.50 on that data. Now, keep in mind this you can see the little bit of volatility that we're seeing. Dollar yen really got hit here. Sterling, just continues to break into new highs. Aussie dollar actually pushed right back up into resistance here. Pretty critical resistance, I'd suspect. So yeah, I actually just got triggered in some more euro short, which is good because it's it's a decent average now, but
Yeah,
still.
I mean it's up 14. It's not exactly ripping, but
No, and like I said, this false breakout probably got a lot, it tagged me obviously and got probably some other people too. So very so you notice how now the market's really focusing on this data. Ryan, what's your takeaway from the week ADP that we just got?
Well, because it's all we're getting in terms of jobs, it's a big mover. I'm just waiting for the report to come up just to have a look at the details, see what's going on. But it's private payrolls, so it's not going to mention anything to do with government or anything like that. But yeah, it's not a good sign. And you're right, I mentioned it on the Flow Show and in the room earlier. We've got to focus on the employment and prices components of the PMIs, the ISM and the services and manufacturing, even ignoring the headline number. For example, if we get a massively upside headline number, if jobs is weak and prices are weak, that's what the market's going to run with.
Yeah, and that's what the market's running with right now. I mean, look at sterling. I mean, that is pushing right up against resistance, the underside of this trend line, big level here. And the Aussie dollar is pushing up against resistance as well. We've got the euro almost nearing the overnight highs. I mean, that's a pretty big move here. What else are you thinking right now?
look how well Canada is holding up on a weak dollar. I
Oh,
mean,
the dollar Canadian, it looks great. I mean, this is one of those, I mean, for now anyway. Yeah, it looks really good, despite the weakness in the dollar. You're right, Dale. I mean, what a strong move here. Yeah, what else? Oh, now, have you seen the dollar rand? The dollar rand, we just hit the 127% extension, but this is fresh lows. This is a fresh low in the dollar rand.
yeah.
You look at the dollar mex. The dollar mex is nearing the big confluence, and I'm long, and I'm long right at these levels from I guess it was the FOMC. We came down here, we hit it. And Ryan, I know you were shorting the dollar mex as we were at that 50 level last week. You didn't stay short though.
I got out when we had that dip to 40s, but
Yeah.
I might have a little look down at the bottom end of the range. I'll see how this data plays out. Keep an eye on 10-year yields. See what they're doing. I've just been knocked out my dollar yen longs from the FOMC day, and the little bit I tried at 147 today. So that's all flat there now.
But
a little bit back.
It's what's really interesting is we had this, false breakdown in the dollar against a lot of different currencies, and we're nearing those levels again. And with this week data, it might put us right back there. ISM is going to be obviously very important for dollar traders today. Steve, I see that you're here. Any comments you have about all the data that's being released right now?
Mate, I can't really focus on the data at the moment because the technical picture remains stuck. What I care about is seeing what happens with the dollar. And for me, I've said it for weeks now. It's all about what gives first. It's either we break through the long-term trend line support, which currently passes roughly from 97 or above 98.70. Am I surprised by the data? No, I'm not surprised by the data. The question is, what are the data going to do to the market? So far, of course, the market is pricing in that this is going to help the Fed in their dovish turn, and probably that's going to be the case. And that's one of the reasons of why I've, despite being in the short term trapped in this range, I've remained more in favor of the scenario that we end up breaking down in the dollar.
So you think the dollar is going to just eventually give way up at these levels?
I think it's more likely than the alternative. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we have this other move higher in gold, and I know Dale was just talking about it too. We had this move higher, relative strength. I think you're talking about Dale. You were talking about relative strength intraday, but really on the daily charts.
Oh, yeah, I showed that too. It's amazing. That's why it's not the top. And when I 4 hour divergence, and without daily, I'm not looking for a turning point. I'm just looking for scalps.
Yeah, I mean, here we are at all-time highs in gold. I mean, what stops this train, Steve? What do you think? Is there a stop? I know you've been a ardent, dollar or a gold bull for so long, but I mean, we've obviously hit a lot of technical levels, and we're at, some really big resistance up here. But do you think it stops at all?
Inevitably, at some point, it has to. It might go into a long period of hibernation again at some point. Same thing might happen to silver. The question is, are we close to that? And there is no easy answer to that. I can see gold after going 12x since 300 that I started being super bullish. I can see it doing it somewhere here, but I can see it also extending much, much further than where it currently is.
So,
Right.
Steven, the junior high, you were already bullish gold when it was 300? Or were you
Yeah.
even, when
Yeah,
was it
of course.
300? I remember like
2000,
2000.
it was
Yeah,
2000, the year 2000, actually.
yeah,
It was 300 because one of my really good friends was getting long a shit ton. I'm like, why are you buying gold? He's
yeah.
like, I'm buying gold. I'm like, okay.
I remember
So,
that central
yeah.
banks came up with an agreement not to sell it anymore. Exactly the opposite of what's been going on here for
The,
the
the
last few years.
BOE didn't seem to to be on board with that.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Oh, they've
But
sold their gold.
but I'm saying that back then, that's what stabilized gold. There was a central bank agreement about not selling gold.
Oh, you
And
mean not selling gold to individuals? Oh, that sorry. I
no,
got
not to individuals. The central banks were going to stop selling gold, and that
oh,
put the
yeah.
floor on
Okay,
it.
then my comment was correct that the BOE didn't get that memo.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I guess they never do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, real quick, let's talk about the U.S. government. When will the government shut down? And this is via Polymarket. We've actually posted this, and call she on, in our chat rooms, we were talking about this.
Gold's coming off after making new highs, guys. Just letting you know.
Yeah,
$7 in a
yeah,
heartbeat.
gold. Ooh, yeah, gold is
And the
reversing.
dollar is turning too, I think. That was we'll see. I don't even think the euro is going to close higher on the day. It is turnaround Wednesday, isn't it?
Well, it's
Every day
also one.
is every
There
day
is
is
always a
turnaround.
there is always a reason and an opportunity to be bearish.
Yeah, and turn around.
Well, let's talk about this. We have the stock market still basically pinned to the all-time highs. I mean, we've seen very little change in equities. Yeah, I mean, it is really just very strong. And I mean, we're less than, less than a percent from the all-time highs. Government shutting down. You have a thousand arguments you can argue against the equity markets. We're at I do think we're at channel resistance. Let me go ahead and change the colors of these lines really quick just to differentiate what we're looking at here. But what do you get, Steve? Well, let's start with you. What do you think about the U.S. equity markets? I mean, here we are just at all-time highs. What do you think about where we're at?
There is no alternative. That's all there is to say.
But there is. How about Bitcoin? Bitcoin's up today.
Yeah, right.
Well, hey, but Bitcoin's up pretty strongly today on a government shutdown. It's near all-time highs, really, too. I mean, there are some alternatives, but I mean, okay, as far as equities go, there's no alternative but the U.S.
There's no
equities, right?
alternative. They've destroyed for years now the fixed income market because everything in the fixed income was yields in the fixed income market always build up based on government bonds, sovereign bonds. So they take as a basis what's supposedly the risk-free rate, right? What is the
Yeah.
risk-free rate owning very short-term, let's say, US treasuries, right?
Buy the dollar.
And then, all yields build on top of that. Like how much extra risk do you assign to this in comparison, let's say, to owning short-term US yields? That much. Okay, so that trades that much above it. So since for years now, government bonds have been manipulated because central banks are buying them, the whole quantitative easing cycle, etc. They've, in essence, destroyed the whole fixed income market. So that practically leaves equities. Add to the equation the completely flawed methodology of calculating inflation, which doesn't really play a role. I mean, inflation, even if you don't report it, is there, which means that this also helps equities lift further, and that is the perfect mix for having the stock market that we've been having for so many years. And yes, at some point, of course, there's going to be some catalyst that's going to, prick the bubble. But until that happens, it's a very, very hard, sell, right? Because it's been performing so well for so long on one hand, and on the second hand, what are people going to do that take their money off equities? Where are they going to put them? In the bank to lose money on a monthly basis? That's not really a viable alternative. So it is what it is.
What's going to be really interesting, and we don't have any data coming out in a few minutes or in a minute. And Dale, you don't have a guest today?
No.
Okay, that's cool. So we can. I want to continue on this conversation for just a few more minutes before we wrap things up. In the chat room, we were talking about the government shutdown. You can see, posting like, Poly Market here, and this is, Kalshi and everything else. And talking about like fixed income. Here's the 10-year, right? And we were just talking about what these charts, what the bond market and notes in this example, but in what fixed income is going to look like if we continue the shutdown 2 weeks from now. So it's going to be really interesting to see, as we've talked about, hey, don't really worry about the shutdown right now. It's going to be very limited in its impact, at least for the first, week or two. But once we get past like a couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks, this is when the market's going to get a little nervous. It's going to, I mean, Ryan, what do you think is going to happen with the market should we stay shut down for a couple of weeks or more? Do you think traders are going to be buying dollars and buying or buying or
Wow.
selling, 30-year bonds, 10-year notes, all the fixed income products, yields going up, but the dollar's still going down? What do you think happens after a couple of weeks if this standoff continues?
I think it's all about the clock. I think the longer it goes on, the more antsy the market will get about it. And the market it gets far more bearish than it does bullish in these situations. So it will be thinking the longer it goes on, the worse things are going to be. And that's on top of not knowing how bad things are going anyway, if they are going bad. So, yeah, I think you're going to see dollar selling. You're probably going to see yields coming down. The market reaction will be that if this is a shit show, the Fed are going to have to cut more faster. We'll probably get people talking about a 50 pip cut to play catch up to all the data that we haven't got. And the market will take a very bearish view of it the longer it goes on. So be prepared. A lot of people saying, and I've been making this point, people are getting too complacent saying, yeah, this will be a quick thing. The same thing will happen. An agreement will take place and blah, blah, blah. But no one's thinking about what if that doesn't happen.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. And I'm Dale, do you have any opinions here? Because I think the longer it goes on, we get into that, the bonds, go down, yields go up, the dollar goes down, even though yields are going up, and stocks may come under pressure. It'll be the sell every, the U.S. across the board type of market again, which is a scary market to be in, frankly.
Yeah. I think besides sentiment, there's some people are overlooking a reason to be long the dollar. There's a problem going on in SOFR and the repo market, and it's not because there's a shortage of euros. Okay, that's not why they're bidding up rates between banks. And if you pull up, say, B of A yesterday, or what's even worse, KRE, which is where we had to come and rescue SVB. And even the city and B of A took a hit yesterday. I think it's a story that's not getting covered much, and I'm sure I know why. I mean, it's a problem. So I think that's another factor in the dollar is that the bank, there's a liquidity issue going on in the banks. The market hasn't worried about it yet, but it is happening. I think SOFR rates are 4.8. Okay, so something that I've been talking about for a few weeks. I guess it hasn't mattered, but I'm not sure. I think it's a dollar shortage. It's not a cable shortage. It's not a euro shortage. It's not an Aussie shortage. It's about the dollar. So
It's going to be really interesting if we have, it seems to happen during crisis times. And it's interesting you think back in like the financial crisis, 2008, ish. If you recall, the whole world was trying to move away from the dollar, very similar to the current times. Like if you think about like today, you got all these BRIC nations are trying to move away from the dollar. Everybody's talking about how the dollar is going to get smashed and it's being replaced by gold. And, no one wants to be in a dollar-based system. So, central banks are buying more gold, less, treasuries, and which is all true, right? But we are in a dollar-based system as it stands. So when there is a crisis and everybody, we use the analogy, it's like when the tide goes out, you see who's not wearing a bathing suit,
Yeah.
right? So you know, if we have some sort of
Unfortunately, in most cases.
right, right. You've been to your fair share of nude beaches, haven't you, Dale? Me too.
No, never, never.
But you know, jokes aside, though,
There
it's
is
one.
no nudist beach in Greece, at least, that Dale hasn't visited.
I've been to a couple in Greece, and I'm like, oh man, that person should definitely be wearing
Yeah,
something right now.
yeah,
Anyway,
for
uh,
before I have
regard,
lunch.
right, regardless, um, you know, if there is some sort of crisis that you're talking about, Dale, and there's a dollar, there could be a liquidity crunch, right? And that's when the dollar just kind of
Yeah, and look how complacent our attendees are, and how everyone, oh, the Fed will do this, the Fed will do that. The Fed is Superman. There are
always.
sometimes there'll be a time where
Oh, they're
there's too
right,
much
actually. They're right. Central banks have been
Superman.
playing the tune for so many years and very
Yeah,
much successfully so, right? Because
right. So
it's
that
not
they
easy
will
to
they always
break.
be?
It's not easy to break the cartel
Okay.
of everybody's in it. Private banks are in it, central banks are in it, governments, most importantly, are in it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because this is a situation that has originally been built to rescue governments from their
Banks.
fiscal irresponsibilities.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the basis upon which this whole construct was created. So
And
it's
we're
not
going to
easy
help
to
Argentina.
so it's not easy to break this trend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, eventually, as everything, something is going to trigger the unwind of it.
Yeah,
Timing that
they're
though is a very, very hard exercise.
Yeah,
Very, very hard.
that's a true statement. Very true statement.
well, there already are some problems in the credit markets with companies that carry car loans. Like they look strong, and then overnight they collapse. I forgot the name of the two companies. So people could go, that's just cars. But they packaged those loans just like they packaged the mortgages. So I'm sure the mortgage market was 10 times bigger, I'm guessing, than the auto loan market. But there's a big problem because not because the company went bankrupt, those two companies, but because they packaged those loans for it to be a product that they could sell to people and that they probably own. So everyone's talking about the shadow banking system, which could be the problem
Yeah.
as well, right?
This is true. Shadow banking system is real. It's real and it is a concern.
It's
So
bigger than the commercial banking system.
yes, it's bigger than what people can quantify right now.
Yeah,
So anyway, it gets
it's
I know
interesting.
it is very interesting, and it's something that you know, it seems like a house of cards to me, and so we all should be pretty keen on just you know, keeping our heads on a swivel at this point. Hey, I'm gonna leave it with this. I'm gonna let you guys or we're going to wrap things up here tomorrow. We have a special guest tomorrow, so make sure you guys are listening in. It's my son who's in college. His
Oh,
girlfriend, his girlfriend's dad, who was the head FX trader, the head of trading for Morgan Stanley on the FX desk for like 20 years. He's out of New York. He moved, and some of you know this story. He moved to Phoenix after early retirement. He moved to, you know, Scottsdale lives just like, you know, half a mile up the road from me because our kids started dating in high school. Anyway, he moved here about 12 years ago, and a mutual friend, well, one of his neighbors wanted to introduce me and him 10, 12 years ago. So he started following me on Twitter. We never ended up going to lunch. And, you know, 12 years later, our kids are dating each other now they're both together at Ole Miss. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. Him and his wife and their whole family, really. But he's an RIA now, like a lot of retired FX people that have been on FX desk for 25 years. He's transferred his knowledge of, global equity markets so he started on a trading desk. I think he'll tell you, but he'll tell you tomorrow, Dale. You're going to have a really interesting interview with him. I think he started on the desk in 92, I believe.
Yeah.
At not at Morgan. It was at his first bank that he started at after college. But he took all that knowledge and he now, deals with wealthy individuals. He's going to be joining us from Scottsdale tomorrow. So make sure you guys listen in. He's I was just with him at Ole Miss in Mississippi 2 weeks ago for Parents' Day weekend with him and his wife, and they're he's just a wealth of knowledge. You guys are going to learn a lot from him, so it'll be good.
Thanks for lining that up.
Yeah, and hopefully he can be a regular guest for you, Dale, because he
Dale,
can't.
be careful what you're gonna say. He's gonna be his
Good.
what's the English
I,
word?
I don't know, Steve.
Not brother-in-law. What do you become
oh
if
yeah.
He'd be like, yeah, I mean, he would be my son's father-in-law.
Yeah.
I don't know what he would be to me. I guess we could
we
end up
have
being.
we have a Greek word for it, sympathery. I don't know if there is an equivalent English word for it though.
Yeah, I guess a monster-in-law, outlaw. No, it should be so. But no, we could end up being grandparents together, which would be interesting. Which would be cool, actually. But regardless, he's just a wealth of knowledge. He's a guy that's been on trade desks for years. He can't because he's an RIA. He can't tell you how he's positioned his in the in the markets, but he can tell you kind of how he's positioning his clients. But more importantly, he's probably got a lot of great trading stories and experiences that Dale. I'm sure you and him will share a lot of similar trading experiences from the
Okay.
past. So
Okay, buddy. We'll
yeah.
we'll 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 do it together.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, I'll be here
Good.
for sure. I'm going to be here
All
for
right.
that. So,
All
so
right.
yeah, make sure you guys are around tomorrow. It'll be a really, really neat interview.
Well, then I'll say thank you to Ryan. Um, did I even talk to K-Man today?
He's
He's
traveling.
gone. He's gone. Yeah, that's
He's
right.
he's gone until midweek next week. So
Okay.
you're not.
All right. Well, forget it then, K-Man. I was going to thank you. Uh, anyway, thanks, Ryan. Steve, always good to hear from you. Blake, nice
Yes, sir.
coverage. We'll see what happens, and you know, don't bet the farm on anything ever again, guys. Don't do it. I know everyone out there has tried to do it. We're entering the championships of the Major League Baseball season. And all the big home run hitters, they don't hit for an average. So if they were traders, they'd be broke. Okay. So the guys that grind it out and hit for an average and just make contact with the ball, they're not trying to kill it and knock it out of the park. You're just trying to take slices out of the pie. Don't be a pig and try and eat the whole pie. Just be happy with a slice out of here, a slice out of there, unless there's something like you're holding physical and things like that, or in your IRA. And maybe I'm saying that because that's the hardest thing for me to do is hold and sit and cross my arms. But don't swing for the fences. That's a major message. Okay,
Absolutely.
especially if you're desperate and you need money. And if you need money and you're trying to make a quota, that's a good time to be thinking about other revenue streams and trying to get it out of the market because scared money doesn't really work. Because I know I've traded scared money. You get shaken out the first bad candle against you. You're emotional, you're attached. It doesn't work. You could be the greatest technician in the world, but you know what? It's all in our heads. It's all in our heads. So get your psychology right. The best way to do that is to hang out with people who already have those habits that you're trying to develop. and we all bring habits as a human being that really, we're not really wired to do what you have to do to be successful here. Okay, so anyway, everyone have a great day, good evening, and yeah, I look forward to talking to your son's future father-in-law tomorrow.
Jack Fitzpatrick.
Jack.
Yes, he doesn't have a
Jack?
social media
All
presence,
right.
so yeah.
Okay, and yeah, so he's an Irishman, so I'm sure he takes a slug that you've had a drink with him before.
His yeah, he's got two ginger daughters. My son is dating one of them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it.
Is
So
the other one free?
For you?
Steve, you know what I want you to do? Go put on
No, I'm
Aqualung.
asking for Dale.
Oh, no. Anyway, he's
yeah,
asking for a
she's
friend.
21 years old. Yes, no.
Anyway,
Oh,
Steve,
she's a little bit too old for Dale. Okay,
you're
I
the
get it.
you're the Aqualung of FX, Jethro Tull. Check it out. All right. Anyway, you know that band?
Jethro Tull, of
No.
course.
Do you?
Do
You know
I?
it?
Yes, I
All
do.
right.
I don't know if Steve
Aqua,
knows. Steve does.
Aqualung. Play Aqualung.
Steve doesn't.
Anyway, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Good luck. I've already taken partials in gold with BE stops. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
And yeah, enjoy the day. Seeds the day, right?
Yep.
Oh, I just want to ask one thing before we go. And it's not political. It really isn't too political. But what do you think about all those generals and admirals flying all to one room where they're a target to not hear anything really earth-shaking that they could have done like on a Zoom? Is it you're an ex-Marine?
It was for optics. I mean, it was. I think it was a show.
Everything's
It was. It
every
was.
yeah
I don't think it made very much sense
yeah
for what you're pointing out.
yeah
And it was for optics. I think it was for the Trump administration to, basically show
gosh
the rest of the world, like, hey, look, I've got control of
yeah
of the military here. Look at here's all my generals.
oh yeah
It is
yeah
from a security point of view. That was a very scary sight to see.
yeah
I'd never seen anything like that. Like, you put all of our military leaders, basically the top brass, all in one room. I mean, that. Have you ever seen the what was the movie? Oh, Inglorious Bastards,
yes
when they had all the German
yeah yeah
leaders in the theater.
the
For those of you that had seen it and
right
know what I'm talking about. I kind of felt that when I was like, holy shit, this is
yeah.
not a good idea. But anyway,
Anyway, I what
yeah,
was the purpose of flying? I
optics,
just don't get it. Anyway,
optics.
so let's hope that the world cares more about optics than power, and I doubt that. So
Yeah.
anyway, have a great day, everybody. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's gold today.
Galaxy Note, I'm not going to answer your question. I'm not going to make
Yeah,
this a political show.
yeah. Galaxy is that way. And anyway, so
I'm
let's
yeah,
wrap it
and
up before we
I'm
get in
yeah.
trouble.
I have opinions, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut right now.
Yeah.
So
All right. Anyway, have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. And we'll hear from Jack Fitzpatrick tomorrow, a veteran. Looking forward to it. Good luck today. Join the chat if you're not in it.
we have a lot
Adios,
of great
everyone.
conversations there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that. Join it. Look at that.
That's what you'll be
That's
doing.
that's a hell of a glass. I wonder what that would cost at a bar. Probably a couple $100 for a glass that size. Anyway, thank you, Fred. Nice to have you with us. Don't worry, we're here for another 10 at least. Okay? Glenn, take it
Minutes.
easy. What's that, Brian?
Minutes. 10 minutes.
No, years, buddy. we have at least another decade with me here. All right. So anyway, have a great day, everyone. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. We're all blessed that we have spec capital to play the game. And if you don't, um, you know, ForexAnalytix is giving you another way to get funded to trade. Check that out too. All right, everyone. Adios. Thanks, team. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. See you guys.